All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show, where I talk to you, as I do every single day, about transfer rumors and rumors generally supporting surrounding the Arsenal. Oh, teeth back in. Now you've probably seen that I've got no picture on. I'm gonna lie to you guys straight up. Uh, I'm still hot as a motherfucker. It's like a really muggy night. It's not been a particularly hot day, but for some reason the temperature hasn't yet dropped. Did rain a little bit earlier, and it's taken the edge a little bit off from yesterday. But because this weekend is set to like rain all weekend, I know England, right? um, Listen, I ain't gonna bitch after how hot it's been recently. So, yeah. So I think it's gonna take the edge off the kind of hot nights. But until then, I ain't gonna lie. The last thing I need is some big beaming light on my face and making me sweat. I've literally just got myself exactly to the temperature I want to be at. So I want to keep it that way. So apologies. This is my very long-winded way of saying apologies. It will be an audio-only thing. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Let's talk about Arsenal. Looks like they may be on a verge of madness. For anyone who doesn't know that expression, for years, there's always been a rumor or suspicion. This is usually the time of the summer window where we start getting linked with all sorts. And, a madness is basically Arsenal doing something completely out of character for the transfer window and starting to spend loads and loads of money. Well, supposedly there are a lot of things in the offing for the Arsenal. So I will talk to you about the stories really as I found them today, in order of how I found them. And then you can let me know what you think in terms of those stories. And then I'll go into the chat room, have a quick chit chat with you guys, and then leave you to the rest of your Friday nights because I know it's payday weekend. If you're not watching this, you're probably out already, or you're probably watching this eager to go out. That's if you're in the UK. If you're in the US, you probably still got a couple of hours yet. All right, so let's get into it. Where do we start? Let's start with Nicolas Pepe. So I saw a story today, got a little bit excited. You guys know before there was a Ziyech, there was a Nicolas Pepe for me. So in the very and listen, don't get it twisted. I recognize we are probably fourth favourites out of the four teams linked with Nicolas Pepe right now. But Nicolas Pepe, the Lille forward, who scored 28 goals last season, and was stressed 28 because I got into a dumb argument with some dickhead on Twitter. I had to straight block his ass because he said, "Oh, well, stop making figures up." Like, motherfucker, I'm looking at what I'm tweeting you. Like, he goes to me, "Oh, well, you only scored 22 in the league in League O." What do you mean? He scored 28 goals. Fool, he plays in more competitions than just one. What are you talking about right now? Oh, kids online, I tell you. Anyway, so I blocked him. Normally I don't block people, I just mute them. I just thought, you're a dickhead. I'm not even going to get into an argument. Block. So yeah, sorry, lost my flow. So he scored 28 goals last season. Someone who, to be honest, I'm a little surprised hasn't moved already. There was a lot of rumours earlier in the transfer window that he was being linked with Liverpool. Then he was being linked with PSG, particularly if they lost Neymar. As I suspected, the Neymar thing looks like it's calmed down a little bit because he's not gone anywhere. Quite honestly, Barcelona can't afford him. Neither can Real, so he's going to have to, I guess, stay put for the time being. Which means that PSG wouldn't be able to buy Pepe either. Then there was a lot of rumours last week that Man United were set to buy him as a replacement for Lukaku. Looks like that trail has gone cold. So all of a sudden, today I wake up and 4 teams have lodged a bid for Nicolas Pepe. Napoli being one. And it's got to be said, Napoli are apparently the favourites. They are the front runners. Liverpool being another. Inter being another, which I find interesting. And then one little club called the Arsenal are interested in them. And they lodged a seven, and they all four teams lodged a £72 million bid. And all four teams, those bids were accepted by Lille. And Lille have basically left it to the player to decide. The belief is that he's leaning towards Napoli. Liverpool obviously being second favourites. Inter do have an outsider chance. And then there's the Arsenal. I mean, he fits the profile through everything that we want in a winger. You know, he's got bags of goals in him. You know, one of the priorities I would expect is that we need to have more goals shared throughout the team. Historically, we've always been quite good at that, you know, in the sense that we've not been over-reliant on one or two people. There's always been a share of goals, but last season we seemed to go away from that for whatever reason. I think there's been more emphasis in trying to get that back. Having said all that, we brought in a midfielder on loan that doesn't necessarily score goals. He's more of an assist guy, but I think there's got to be more commitment and more drive to that cause. And Nicolas Pepe fits that mold. Let's face it, I think all of us could see if Nicolas Pepe was to do a madness and actually consider Arsenal in some way he wants to come to. I think the idea of Nicolas Pepe, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Lacazette all in the same team would give most of us a hard-on. And I don't care if you're female, same thing. I'm sure it gives you a little bit of a hard-on too. So, I think for me, obviously this would be up there as a dream signing. Like I said, the idea of having someone like this in the team, you can almost start to picture that sort of Liverpool shape. You know how almost effortless they seem, that front three seem for Liverpool. You could see Arsenal at least attempting to build something very similar, with maybe Aubameyang out right, Pepe out left, or Pepe out right, Aubameyang out left, Lacazette up top, and just that constant interchanging and fluidity. It's something of a lot of excitement. And to me, this signing would be upgrades, levels above Wilfried Zaha. You know, I got into weird debates today, again on Twitter. I need to stay off Twitter. I really do. With people saying that, oh, well, you know, I don't know why people are so excited about Pepe. Wilfried Zaha is Premier League proven. Premier League proven. You mean the same geezer that's not scored more than 10 goals in a season? And people are talking like 80 million for this brother. No, I'm all right. I'd rather spend 8 million less and get a better player. To be perfectly honest, I'd rather spend 60 million less and get Ziyech. But if I say that one more time, I'm going to give myself a headache. Anyway, I digress. For me, it's highly unlikely. I could see something like this being true, to be honest. I could. But I also could see Arsenal saying to themselves, well, let's try. Let's put ourselves in the mix. Perhaps accepting and knowing from early on that we have little to no chance of actually succeeding with such a bid. So it is what it is. Let's see what happens. All we can do is try. But I think, and as you'll see as I go through the show, I think Arsenal are preparing themselves to not get Nicolas Pepe. So on the off chance he either goes to Napoli or Liverpool, what is the backup plan? Well, seemingly Everton Soares is back on the radar. Apparently Arsenal have lodged a bid of £36 million for Everton Soares, and we're waiting for a response. To me, I tweeted this. As you can see, I was active today on Twitter for some reason. I think this is sensible. I think this is something we should have done weeks ago. To me, I think he's an excellent talent. I think there is that concern for me, and the only concern I have is the adaptability. Coming to the Premier League, it will be a shock to the system. But the talent is certainly there. 23 years old. I saw Lee say this on his show today, and I've said this for a couple of days now. I think the ceiling is the highest out of him and Zaha. Much higher. I don't think Zaha is going to get much better than what he is now. I don't care how many people are gassing him up. Whereas I think with Soares, I think the ceiling is high, really, really high. So I would personally like to see what we could do with that. For 36 million, I think you're bringing in someone who's clearly very talented. Bit of a project, but I think someone that will be eager to prove himself in the Premier League. And I've got a feeling he'd be quite eager to come. So let's see what happens with that. I was pleased to see the story. Out of all the stories, to be honest, this one pleased me the most. Even with the Pepe one. Because of the Pepe one, I knew, even if it is true, I knew we have little to no chance. Whereas with this one, we have a decent chance of actually getting him, particularly with our Edu connection. So let's see what happens. Wilfried Zaha is the guy. Next up, let's talk about Kieran Tierney. There is growing confidence all round now. That's a matter of time before we announce this deal. There is this belief that Celtic have actually accepted they're going to be without Tierney. The only person that hasn't come out with an actual statement is Neil Lennon. But, all signs point to the fact that Kieran Tierney will not be a Celtic player next season. And I think, for me, this is the real first step of improving a much-needed a defense that needs to be improved. It's a failing defense, a defense that shipped in 51 goals last season, which is an incredible amount. And I feel like a lot of our goals did come from our fullback areas, the goals we conceded. So I think that, yes, I think while getting a new centre-back is all well and good, you guys know I don't rate half of our centre-backs, but I also think improving those fullback areas would be a first step in doing that. And you know what? I was really against the idea of getting Dani Alves, but actually, as a short-term band-aid, why not? He's free. Give him a year contract. Could it be any worse than what we have? But let's see what happens. But in terms of Kieran Tierney, supposedly Arsenal have made a bid matching what Celtic wanted in the goddamn first place, which just makes you think, why didn't you just offer that in the first place? So yeah, let's see what happens. But Kieran Tierney looks like could finally be, the saga could finally be over and finally be on his way. Where do we go now? Let's talk about Dani Ceballos. Let's pause Arsenal buying and let's talk about the deal we've actually done, and that's Dani Ceballos. So there's a belief with Dani Ceballos. So we had a few things that came out last night. Supposedly the reason that there's not an option to buy is because the player himself, Dani Ceballos, requested for there not to be an option to buy. He very much is committed to Real Madrid, and he just wants to get some minutes under a belt. He wants to be able to impress Zidane. And to be honest with you, initially I was like, oh, great. But actually, I like the fact that we're getting a motivated player, a player who is clearly desperate to impress his manager. 22 years old, clearly a very, very confident young man. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think we'll see what he's about. Like I say, he's clearly very confident, very self-assured in himself. So I'm eager to see what he brings to the team. But let's see. So far, so good. Kieran Tierney. Dani Ceballos has come in. He said all the right things. He's eager to help the club get ourselves back into the Champions League. And ultimately, if he does that, he'll be worth every penny of the supposed 15 million that we've either paid him or are paying him. I did see a story saying that, the sign-on fee was 15 million. I've since seen rebuttals to that story that basically said the entire package is 15 million. So the sign-on fee plus the £125,000 a week, which for a player of his quality is not a bad weekly amount, to be fair. So yeah, let's see where we go. Let's see where we go with this one. You guys know I rate him very, very highly. And I think alongside one of the wingers that we're being linked with, things are looking good at the Arsenal. All right, two more stories about buys, and I'll come into the chat room. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I know it's audio only. For those of you who arrived late, I just can't be asked for a beaming light to make me even hotter than I already am. So I'm just going with an audio only. I hope you guys don't mind too much. Please do give this video a like, though. Normal services will resume tomorrow. I'll probably do a show a little bit earlier tomorrow, though. Quite honestly, I've got a party to go to tomorrow, so I won't be around at my usual time. But I'll be on a little bit early. When I say a little bit early, it'll be a lot earlier. Like, it'll probably be a midday show. In fact, to be honest, it'll be a midday show. I'm off to get a trim type of early. So literally I'll do the show and go and get a haircut. That's the plan tomorrow. Come back, have a shower, get ready for those parties. That's my entire plan tomorrow. So yeah. Anyway, don't disclosing too much to you guys. Let's talk about two more stories and then I'll come back into the chat room. I guess these days you can't do one of these shows without talking about Wilfried Zaha. There is this belief that obviously Everton have come in and they're preparing a £60 million bid for Wilfried Zaha. Wilfried Zaha yesterday obviously has come out and said, listen, my preferred destination is Arsenal, but he's open to a move to Everton. Obviously, Everton is in a much better, healthier position than, say, a Crystal Palace. So one stupid Sky reporter say that Everton are more likely to get Champions League football than Arsenal. It's like, oh, you guys are trying to get that soundbite to trigger Arsenal fans, aren't you? You're just trying to do it. To me, I think it's pretty obvious the guy is an Arsenal fan. If Arsenal and Everton both offer him a deal, we know where he's going. I'm not that fussed if we get him. I've told you guys this before. I know some of you agree with me, some of you don't. I just feel like we could get better for our money. That's all. That doesn't mean to say that if he doesn't come on board, I won't support him. I will support him. Of course I will. I just think we could get better for our money. But, Wilfried Zaha, supposedly, Arsenal are waiting to see what Everton do. See if Palace accept it because they feel that maybe the relationship with Palace is affecting their judgment. So I think their entire plan is to just wait and see what Everton do. And then whatever Everton do, Arsenal will match it. So that is the belief. We'll see what happens going forward. But Wilfried Zaha, Everton have muscled their way in and said, yep, we are going to make a bid for him. So let's see what happens. Last but not least, just before I came onto the show, let's talk about Daniele Rugani. He is the Juventus defender, 24 years old. There is a growing belief that he could be on the move here. His agent came out when I say recently, in the last hour or two, basically confirming that it's very likely he will be making a move. I've talked about this story very recently. They have a couple of really good defenders, and they also just bought De Ligt. So the chances of Rugani actually playing is going to be slim. It's a shame because I do think he's a really good defender. You know, lots of people talk about random defenders to me, like Lascelles and the Roma guy whose name escapes me, who's recently moved, the Greek defender. For me, I always thought Rugani was better than all of them. I think he's a very, very good defender, and he is a defender. I can't reiterate that enough. He is a defender. I found this story quite interesting because supposedly Emre has promoted Medley. I'm going to say supposedly because we also supposedly promoted Reece Nelson and Emil Smith Rowe. But then there's also recently been stories about those two being put on loan. So I think take the stories about certain players being promoted with a slight pinch of salt, to be honest. But yeah, I think I've already said my piece on the Medley thing. Just coming back to, I'll come back to the Rugani story shortly. But I think in terms of Zach Medley, I like the kid. 17 years old, is coming through the camp. I think he's got a lot of good attributes. I do not think awareness is one of them. I do think his positioning needs to be worked on a lot. And I'd like to see, I've said this before, I think he's 18 months away from being in the first team. I think it'd be hasty to put him in any sooner. That is just my view. So I wouldn't like him to come up too soon. But yeah, there's a belief that in terms of Rugani, sorry, I'm actually reading a different part of the story. Yeah, the agent has basically refused to rule out a move to a different club. Don't be surprised if he comes to Arsenal on loan. I think you could probably get that deal done on loan, knowing that you probably don't have a lot of money. If you go mad and if you do a madness and go and get Zaha, you're probably not going to have a lot of leftover change left. I could see potentially us doing some sort of deal on loan. And I think that would be sensible. Lord knows what we need is a defender. We need a defender badly. So, you know, for me, I think bring the kid in. He'll add something to the team. And then we can also let Koscielny go after that. There'll be no reason to hold on to him after that. You know, me personally, I'd let Mustafi go while I'm at it. But, you know, I think you can confidently let Koscielny go once you bring in someone like a Rugani who's experienced, but is young enough to be able to play a lot of games for us. And we're going to need him. And he'll improve the defense. You know, I could see him in the defense with him and Socrates, you know? Hell, it might even help improve Mustafi a little bit. But we need someone. It would be so dumb, but it would be such an Arsenal move if we ship 51 goals the previous season and not buy one centre back. It'd be the dumbest thing. But you could also see Arsenal doing some shit like that. Unfortunately, you could. I could. I definitely could. I'm not even going to try and front like that isn't in Arsenal's repertoire to just be so short-sighted. But anyway, guys, you let me know what you think. I'm going to come into the chat very, very briefly. I know it's 10 o'clock at the moment, so I want to go to 10:15. So leave me any questions very, very briefly. Let's have a chit chat before I come out of here. Please do stick a like on the video. Yeah, let's get cracking. To try and find you guys first before I get cracking, but let's get cracking. On one sec. Before I get cracking, but you guys have teared up the like button. Thank you. Continue to do that, please. That would be fantastic. A madness. Distinctive Music TV. That is one guy that likes to disagree with pretty much everything I put. So I am fully expecting another one of those guys. Good evening, Zamir. Smash a like for Chig. Thank you, Lumberg Camp. Moz doing a great job as per usual. Big shout out to you guys. Let Zaha go to Everton. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Regani is error prone. Is he more error prone than Mustafi? I can't see it. I think he's a good player. I do think he's a good player. Regani or Koulibaly? Oh, it's a no-brainer. Obviously, Koulibaly. Rabadam, thank you for the donation, mate. Earl of Chichester sending in the dark again. It needs to be done. Fuck it out. Lee Gunner's an alcoholic. Okay. Let's just get rid of that guy. He's only 22. Thought that VP. A loan deal for Regani is a good idea. 100%. 100%. I'd be all for it. I said a loan last week that we need a centre back on loan. We need to sign a centre back this season. OT fund. Thank you, VP. Thank you to anyone who has donated prior to me actually coming into the chat. I missed out Rabadan from yesterday, so big up to you, Rabadan. I did see that as I did the rewatch of my shows. I always do. So thank you for that. Big up to you, VP, as well for a donation. The OT fund. My Irish brother Evans in the house. Chig is fully taken on board Chig in the dark moment. Yeah. I am straight in hashtag Chig in the dark moment. All right. Here's a question from Kev Arsenal. Big up to you, Kev. Do you think Pepe would choose Inter or Napoli over us? Just for the Premier League, Arsenal would be a better pull for him. You'd be surprised. I think Napoli is an amazing pull for people. You know, they're a well-run club. They've got a good manager. They're probably the most likely team at the moment to challenge Juve. Where's Colin when you need him? He could probably give you more of an inculation from there. But they're a good club. They're a good club. Are they a bigger club than us? No, but they're a good club. And to be fair, you know, whilst we showed last season they're not necessarily a better club than us, they're a bigger draw for the simple reason that they're in the Champions League. Straight up, we're not. That makes a huge difference. Inter, we may have a better chance than Inter. Not necessarily Napoli, though. Big up to you, VP. Dropping the 20 dome like it's nothing. That's a real OT fun. Forget the light fun. That's a real OT fun. Thank you, VP. Appreciate it. Great channel. Greetings from Norway. Thank you, Vigard. I'll tell you, my Norway people, I gotta go to Norway, you know. My Norwegians, they love the show, bro. They love the show. Thank you, Vigard. Appreciate it. Damn, VP. Rapidan's like, shit, VP, you're making me look bad. Dropping a 20 dome like it's nothing. Thank you, guys. Remember, if you're wondering how VP and Rabadan do it, see that weird S that's supposed to be a $sign, but it ain't, right next to the chat box? That is how you drop donations. You don't have to, but every donation that you do drop goes straight into reinvestment for the show. Speaking of which, you will start to see a lot around that very, very shortly. I won't give away too much, but just stay tuned. Gosh, VP with the madness. I tell you, I should change the title of this video to VP does a madness. I see another 10 dome in the chat. Thank you, my brother. $10 in the chat. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Wilson, you're a legend, chick. Thank you, brother. Just under 2 weeks of the transfer window. How many players do you think we need? How many do you think we'd get? I think we need 4 more. We'll probably get 2 more. To be honest, Guna Darks, I think that is exactly how it will work out. Smash the like button. Yes, please, Danny. You guys are killing the like button. If you're liking what you'll see, give me a like. Please, please do. We should have got Hamaso before he went to Atletico. 100%. Another one who I think is a real high quality centre back. I know Majid said that my man was error prone, and he can be error prone, but I will argue anyone that he is any worse than Squadra Mustafi. No chance whatsoever. So yeah, let's see. Let's see. Hold on. One more sub. One more sub. One more donation. Bamiga Akinola. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Bamiga Akinola. I know you're Nigerian with a name like that, especially with Akinola. 100%. In fact, if I had to guess, Igbo? Are you Igbo? That would be my guess. But yeah, I'm good, brother. I hope you're good too. Subscribe to Chig if you ain't. Yes, please. Do hit that subscribe. You guys have been killing the subscribes. I know my brother Lee has been killing it with the shout outs. Thank you once again to him. If you don't already know, me and Lee will be doing watch alongs for all away games on his channel. I will be doing watch alongs on my channel for the home games. It won't be with Lee, it'll probably be with me and guests. Let's put it that way. So yeah, that would be fun. And yeah, short of me being away or an emergency coming up, I'll be right here with you doing all the home game, covering all the games in some form or fashion. So yeah, it'll be fun. Unless I'm actually at the game as well. That's the other little caveat to that. So I did see like 6 games last season, so I'm trying to better that this season. Not that Stan deserves my money, but hey ho. Tom Lee, Chig, I would love to donate, but my mom would get mad. Tom, my brother, don't you worry. I always say to people, donations are not mandatory. But people, believe it or not, do ask. So I do try and direct people. And VP is a donating legend, as is Rabadan. So, yeah. What centre back have we been linked to, Pastor Chig? People love my Pastor Chig episode. Go back in the archive so that I bring out the pastor literally solely for important games and important events. And it was necessary for the final. As it turned out, it made no lick of difference because I forgot how useless the boys can be. But yeah, when people always ask me what my Pastor Chig is, it's a very motivated Chig. And to answer your question, Lundberg Camp, so far it's just Regani. That seems to be the most likely target should we get a centre back. The Abu Sisse links have seemed to have died a death. So yeah. I will give the mods a tip. If you see, okay, Jinta, Arsenal will be doing no madness. Relax, Jinta. That wasn't me that timed you out. I'm just saying. People are allowed their opinion, guys. Don't worry about it. If he doesn't feel that Arsenal won't be doing a madness, that is literally up to him. Thank you. My watch along fun. Thank you, VP. Appreciate it. Chig, will you be going to any home games with Lee? Yeah, occasionally I will be. I try and better my last target. So the last season I went to, I said it was 6. That's a slight lie. It was 5 games I went to last season. So I want to try and better that this season and go to 6. So yeah. Do I have a season ticket? No, Sam. I used to. But then I got so frustrated with Arsene Wenger, I gave that up. So now I kind of just... The good thing about doing a show if you want an Arsenal ticket, it ain't hard to get one. There's the one thing I would say about the Arsenal fan base. You're always able to acquire tickets where possible. And very fortunately for me, I do a show which reaches out to a lot of people. So if I really wanted a ticket, I could get a ticket. And I've got a couple of connections as well. Koulibaly or Umtiti, Wilson, you love these comparisons. Koulibaly. I've rated Koulibaly for about 3 years now. Before anyone knew what Koulibaly was, I rated him. So yeah. Chig, 2 more signings, I'll be satisfied. Not happy, but satisfied going into season. Well, it depends what those signings are, Evan. If those signings were Tierney and a defender, I'd be satisfied. If those signings were Wilfried Zaha and Tierney, I'd be excited more for the Tierney than the Zaha, but I'd still be not satisfied. The defender's a must. It's a must. Rabadam, will you and Lee stream the Newcastle match? So we won't be streaming the Newcastle match. Just to clarify, we will be doing a show, a watch-along show. So it'll be me and Lee. You'll be watching us watch the game. So you know how a lot of you guys like to know what me and Lee are thinking during certain passage or periods of the game. Rabadam, you won't know this, obviously, because you're a Liverpool fan. But usually what me and Lee do is we'll be watching the game and we'll react to it as and when. Me and Lee have done a few watch-alongs on my channel. But we'll be doing it on Lee's channel, quite honestly, because it's just a bigger audience. So it just makes more sense for both of us. And yeah, we'll just be trying to really try and grow both of our streams. Both of our platforms hopefully should benefit off it. That's the idea behind it. And also, like you haven't already, but if you haven't yet subscribed, please do. We're gonna miss out on so many ballers again. Same old Arsenal. Tierney incoming. Chig, where's your face? Oh, Archie, come late. It's too hot to put the light on. That's why I've decided to just go audio. Torreira or Fabinho? Torreira. Don't think Fabinho has been that great in the league. David Silva or Ceballos? Ceballos is an excellent player, but David Silva's a legend. So come on. Lacazette or Salah? I think Lacazette's a better player. I know Salah scores more goals, but I think there's more to Lacazette's game. So Lacazette for me. Chig, do you know any cheap hotels or hostels in London near the ground? Last time I went, we stayed up the road, 12 pins. I mean, you could stay in a hostel, but yeah, there are plenty of little cheap hotels and stuff like that, and bed and breakfast. Evan, hit me up when you're ready to actually come to London, and I'll recommend some places. I mean, your best bet is yeah, just hit me up when you're ready to actually come, and I'll let you know. Chig, will you guys have a match clock for live streams? Possibly, Tom. I know that's something Lee's looking into. Lee's all about the graphics, so no doubt we'll look into seeing what we can do. I'm surprised that Stan hasn't rebranded Arsenal to Kroenke and Sons. Zamir. Oh, Thunder Road with a comment on the stream. Good Eagle Eye. If you bring a bird over in this temperature, please keep in mind she won't be as fresh down there. Oh, dear. Well, just because we are, to be fair, let's be equal here. The girls would say the same about guys, to be fair. So I'm just going to put that out there to be equal. We don't want to be sexist on this channel. Zaha is like wonder class, is world class, worth 80 million. Vladimir is another long-term listener of mine. Usually has a slightly different stance of looking at things. So it doesn't surprise me that he would say that my man is worth 80 million. Oh, dear. Chig, I find it bad that Ziyech looks like he's going to stay at Ajax. Well, he's already basically said that he wouldn't leave Ajax for just any team. So lots of teams were interested in him, like Seville, Everton were trying to make a play at one time. So were Wolves. And he was like, listen, I ain't leaving Ajax for just any team. Almost feels like he's saying, listen, unless it's Arsenal, I ain't interested. So fair play to him. Me, you guys know already, I'd have him tomorrow. We're looking for a winner. And even though I think eventually he will probably turn into a number 10, I think the attributes he has, he'll probably turn into a number 10. But we're looking for a winner. I just don't understand why. It's like Emre just doesn't rate him for whatever reason. So let's see what happens. The only problem is I'm guessing his buyout clause will be different next summer. Probably go on to have an amazing season this season as well. I just hope Emre takes a closer look at him. But yeah, I do think it's mad, Gunnar Dots. I've gone over what I said I was going to do. So let's do 10 more minutes. 10:30, I'm out of here. 10:30. Do the things I do for you guys. At least stick a like on it. There's 142 people watching. You guys can do better. Push me towards that 100 mark. I know you can do it. Shig, Bale prefers China to Spurs. Did you hear? If that's the case, LOL. And I never normally say LOL like that. I think it's cringy. But that is hilarious. And you know what? Danny has a very good point. What you do is you get the bird in the shower and you wash each other. 100%. Evan, thanks. Yeah, I'll probably do it in December and I'll definitely hit you up. You'll be too big for me to reach you. Brother, hit me up. I remember you. Don't you worry. I got time for my Irish people. Ask Emily on that one. Carney or Wiltor? B-O. First of all, how ironic your name is that when we're talking about what we're talking about. I love Wiltor, and I want to make that clear. Carney's my guy. In fact, I'm going to go fast to say this. If you had to ask me who my favorite Arsenal player of all time is, it's Carney. Unsurprisingly as well. BP, yes, but I'm still holding fire. I want to see what Stan does first. Because a loan signing and a signing for next season hasn't got me excited yet. So yes, it's still my intention. And if I don't end up buying a shirt, I'll reinvest it into the show. Everton Soares, is he coming in or not? American boy, we've made a bid. It's up to the club and then the player. So yeah, at the moment we've made a bid. Chig, are you doing any live streams for transfer day? I wasn't going to say this now, but yeah, all right, Matt Manus. I think it's fair to comment. So yes, I will be. I'll be doing several shows on transfer deadline day. I've actually taken a day off work specifically for this show and for that day. So I will be working, just working my second job, working with you guys. So I'll be doing all sorts of shows on deadline day. I've done that because I'm anticipating Arsenal to do something on that day. So I think it would be sensible to have that day completely free. So yes, keep it locked here or with Lee at the very least. Between us two, we'll have it covered. So we'll definitely do a show. No doubt I'll either pop onto Lee's platform or Lee will pop onto my platform. And we will, trust me, have every angle covered. I may even go to the Emirates. I may do. The Emirates ain't very far from me. So on that particular day, I might do a couple of live shows out there, live streams out there. I'm sure you guys will enjoy that. So yes, definitely keep it locked. But yes, McManus, I will definitely be doing a deadline day show. A few of them, to be fair, a few of them. Okay. Thank you, my brother VP. Extra donation. Thunder Road, yeah, but the guy's odor is more external, so we can wash it off. You ain't been with that many girls, have you, Van, on the road? Trust me, girls' odor can be external too. Guys' odor can be internal too. It depends where you're washing. so, yeah, trust me, we could get a little bit down there. So it's basically the message of the show: take a motherfucking shower, especially in the summer, female or male. As release clause is now over. Yeah, there's no more 25 million on Toby's contract anymore. It expired today, midnight today. Midnight. Well, yeah, midnight Friday it expired. So yeah, it's now over. Van Nistelrooy or Michael Owen. I hated both players for different reasons, but Van Nistelrooy was the better player. If you chose selling Jack or Mustafi or buying Zaha, for me, it's the first solution all day long. Of course, Vladimir. If you had to ask me which would I prefer, the lack of sales concerns me. 100% concerns me. Thank you for the deadline day stream fund. Thank you. Radio chick every night. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing at the moment. Company or John Terry. He was a racist, but ultimately he was a good player. So John Terry. Sol Campbell or Ferdinand? Oh, come on. That's a cruel question. Wilson, I'd go with Tony Adams. Adams or company. Oh, gosh, I rate both so highly as well. You're going to make me pick Ferdinand over Sol. He was the better defender, but I love Sol. But Ferdinand at his peak was the best defender in the country. I don't feel comfortable saying that, but he was. And Terry was the better defender out of Company and Terry. Company was injured most of the time. So Company don't win any of those. Jake will be doing both. So I'll join him for one. He'll join me. So, yeah. I've got 4 minutes, guys. 4 minutes and I'm out of it. And yes, if you can get me to at least 100 likes before I get off, that'd be brilliant. But if you're watching this on a playback, drive those likes through the roof. Who will finish higher, Arsenal, Tottenham, or Chelsea? I'm going to be real with you, Wilson. I think Tottenham. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. Now, ask me that question after deadline day. But right now, that's what I'm thinking. Sam's in the house. Hope you're good, brother. I hope you're good, my G. Yeah, Monreal can't play fullback. Can't defend at centre defence. Only a 3. If Tierney comes in, do you think Cola or Nacho will go? And we'll use them in another role? I think they'll both stay now. I honestly do. I think they'll both stay. I mean, Cola can't go anywhere. I mean, the PR disaster that would be for Arsenal if after his heroics they sold him. His stock is so high with Arsenal fan base right now, they can't sell him. And I know you think that might not matter. It matters to the board. Trust me. They don't do anything that rocks the boat with Arsenal fans. Because out of the two, to be honest, I'd probably more likely sell Kolasinac. I just don't think he has it, and I think that's an asset that we didn't pay any money for that we can potentially get money in for. What time do I usually finish work? That's a bit personal. A little bit personal. Why do you ask? Reginda, hi Chig. You get more money for cola. Thank you, VP. Appreciate that donation. I guess that's just a donation for the fuck of a donation. All good, bro. Sam, I got to get you back on the show at some point, man. Trigger some more people with your Ozil musings. Chig, are we getting any separate videos, live videos like the chopping block? Yeah, so you're going to get a big chopping block special this Sunday. Just because we're coming towards the end of the transfer window now. So you're going to get a few people, and I owe you guys a massive special chopping block for that one. Going to get a couple more Chiggy wish lists because I've slacked on that as well recently. So I'll get that done. And I'll do a pre-season show probably next Thursday, to be honest. Maybe next Friday, but more likely next Thursday. Get Ola and Leon, maybe Sam, as he's in the chat as well. And all 4 of us just kick it and just talk about the season. I think it's good to do a pre-season show once Arsenal have actually done all their business. Because if asking somebody where they thought Arsenal finished now may be completely different to what happens in 2 weeks' time. So that's why I've just held off from the pre-season shows. So, yeah, I think my kind of schedule will be looking like this. I'll do a pre-season show on Thursday evening after the transfer window's closed. And then Friday, I'll do my Newcastle preview. Then the Newcastle watch along with Lee's channel, so go subscribe to Lee Gunner. Then we'll both do our separate reviews on our channel. Player ratings, which will drop a couple of hours after that. And yeah, that's pretty much the way it's going to go going forward. So yeah. All right, gone over. One more question and I'm out. One more question. Lee's going to do a 5-hour show deadline day. Yeah, I ain't doing that shit. I ain't doing that shit. He's crazy. I ain't doing that shit. So I'm going to do separate shows over the course of the day. I ain't doing a 5-hour continuous thing. He finishes at Chico o'clock. Yes, I do. All right, let's finish with Evans one. I was asking about work because I wanted to keep the questions popping, not all just football related. I didn't mean to be too personal. No problem, Evan. No problem. I was just wondering, what do you mean? When do I finish work? Yo, hold on. 5 o'clock to answer your question. 10 hours stream fund. Thank you, VP. Appreciate it. I'll think about it just for you. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching the show. Please, before you dive off out here, just keep a big guy happy, you know. Just stick a quick like on it before you click that X. Stick a quick like and then you can bounce. Just for me, keep me happy. I'll be back tomorrow. Like I say, it's going to be a much earlier show tomorrow, so don't worry too much if you don't see it live. The only reason for that is just because I'm going to a party, and by the time I come back from the party, it'll probably be 1 a.m. So yeah, I don't want to stick you guys with that. So the good thing about when I come back from that party is I say it'll be 1 a.m. It might be a lot earlier, you know. Think about it. The certain circumstances make me think, oh, actually, it might not be that late. But yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, there's also a UFC card on tomorrow. So me and Ola may do a little impromptu thing. Maybe a watch along. Who knows? Keep an eye out on that for you UFC fans. And that's pretty much it from me, guys. I'm out of here. I'll tell us what time, Chick. I don't know. Probably 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, something like that. Thank you, Zamir. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm out of here, people. Enjoy your Friday. After that whole Ozil and Kolasinac thing, people, please stay safe. All jokes aside, you know, that was some buckwild shit. And people who doubted me once when I did a show and I said that North London is rough. All right, that was Northwest London. It was in Golders Green. That's Northwest. But still, you know, it's a crazy world out there. And almost on cue, you can probably hear the siren in the background. Yeah, it's a crazy world out there. So literally, all jokes aside, these people don't care if it's dark, if it's daylight. Please be careful, right? And don't try and be Kolasinac. It may not work out for you. Don't get them Kolasinac Braves. Just run. If someone comes at you at a machete, don't try and get these Kolasinac Braves. Just run. All right. I'm out of here. Take care. Peace.